You're listening to Get to Know World of Warships, a podcast created by Boggzy and Synpax.
Okay, everybody. Hello, welcome back. Thank you all for joining me. My name is Boggzy. I'm very excited to have you here. I've got a special guest. It's going to be Clan GGWP. They've just made Hurricane for the first time this last clan battle season. Very exciting. The Verizon tournament is going on this weekend. Looks like we already had winners that happened Saturday. You're probably going to be listening to this on Sunday. Meow, meow, meow. Let's move on. There has been some drama regarding the Santa's crates and how ships are chosen from them. I've mentioned it on stream a few times that we don't know exactly what is going on, but there is mounting evidence to suggest that there are some sort of short lists. I encourage everybody to withhold final judgment, at least, until Monday, when Wargaming said that they will release a statement. So we'll just see exactly what they have to say. We'll see if, it's all lies and she's making it up, or if you may have caught on to something. So, anyway, let's see what's going on. Oh, I want to thank everybody who tuned in to my very first sponsored stream on Twitch. I was offered the opportunity by Stream Elements to make some extra money by playing a sponsored game. And in doing so, the more of you who logged into that game and played the tutorial using my code, it actually earned me money. And during COVID, it was extraordinarily helpful. So thank you to everybody who did. It's still up there for another 6 days until, I believe, the 10th is when the last time you can use that code. So any of you listening who want to help me financially, you can do so at no cost to yourself by clicking the link to that, which I'll include on the description of this podcast. Thank you. It helps a lot. It actually gives me real money for about... the whole thing takes about 3 minutes. It doesn't cost you a dime. You don't have to put in anything other than an email. So if you don't mind doing that, that's very, very helpful to me. Other than that, the stream has been going exceptionally well. People seem to be having a really good time with it. So I hope you enjoy that. Please stick around for the ad break this time. Should be about... I think if I have this right, it's at about minute 24, maybe? I'm not sure. I had a good time with this one, and I hope you enjoy it. So stick around here. We're going to listen to a little bit from Clan GGWP. And yeah, hope you're all having a good December. Hope you're all staying safe. Okay, so I have with me here two gentlemen from a clan that is brand new to Hurricane, having made it just this season. I've been seeing them around. I feel like a tabloid right now. You might have seen them at the entrance to Hurricane. I have. I have Sageliev and Nightlock, also known as Hans, from GGWP. Good game, well played. Hi, fellas.
Hello.
Boggzy.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you for being here. So, first and foremost, obviously, you guys had a big first season here in Season 11 of Clan Battles, because your clan, for the first time, made Hurricane, which is a great big achievement, and, congratulations to both you two and your whole clan, obviously. So give me an idea, if you don't mind. I'll start with Hans. Give me an idea of, when GGWP got formed and when you guys got competitive, and, how did things sort of go on your way up to making Hurricane for the first time?
Well, our formation is kind of really like a very by chance kind of thing. It was actually I think I was on a community contributors Discord. I was at the time looking to just test the waters, make a clan of my own. And I was looking for advice on a community contributors Discord on leadership and making a clan. And Sage actually approached me, and he PM'd me and gave me advice, and that led on to us growing ideas for making our own clan, where us two would lead. I think originally we wanted to be a kind of a sister clan of the clan that Sage was in at the time, but that kind of formed into us doing our own thing eventually. And that's where I think Sage came up with the name GGWP. And our goal was to be a learning clan for competitive. So kind of a competitive focused learning clan, getting people experience in high level competitive, because I think Sage was a caller for a very, at the time, strong clan and I was coming from Hurricane Clan at the time, so I had a bit of experience on Europe and North America playing at that level. So we were trying to pass on our experience to other players who are newer, just like we learned from when we were going to become better competitive players, and that was the whole goal behind the clan.
I see. So you guys were essentially trying to take the experience that you had and create a competitive clan out of thin air almost.
Yeah, it was uh, it was like a lot of people said it would be really challenging. I'm sure it was. Like it's a very risky thing to make a clan, especially like when you don't have an established base to or like an established core of people that you're bringing in from the start and you're recruiting from scratch. But
Sure, yeah.
we were able to do it successfully,
Well, I
and I'm thankful for that.
yeah, I mean, I can assure you that as TNG was started by Synpax, obviously, who took a bunch of people who were essentially Storm and Gale level, and through attrition and through hard work and perseverance, the guy managed to recruit enough people and train the ones that were in here to make it to Hurricane multiple seasons, and that is no easy task.
I agree. That's
Yeah.
very remarkable of him.
Well, and you guys, I mean, obviously you're the most recent here to do it, so congratulations to you both, and again to your whole clan. So, Sage, I'll move on to you. I'm kind of curious. When you guys literally just you already are experienced, but you need to form a clan. Surely you must have these ideas in your head of like, well, okay, how is this clan supposed to feel? What am I going to do to sort of create, I guess, a sense of camaraderie? What kind of things are we going to have in our clan so that people can bond over? I mean, did you have any options starting it? Did you think, well, okay, we'll make the clan about this or what have you?
Uh, well, obviously, to begin with, we had the entire concept of we're all here to improve. We have a solid rule in our clan of no stat shaming, right? Because it doesn't matter where someone starts as a player, it's just how much they're improving and if they have the positive attitude required to improve. So, kind of in the early days of the clan, through recruitment and such, we kind of focused on that aspect of join us if you want to improve, if you have that kind of positive attitude towards just simply being better today than you were yesterday, I guess. And as times have gone on, we've obviously developed, clan memes, and just the more you play with people, the more camaraderie is formed.
And like the more inside jokes you get too, right?
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so obviously you guys struck up a camaraderie with some of the most competitive teams on the server. I noticed that you've mentioned that you got a lot of sort of counsel and help and suggestions and whatnot from some of the bigwigs that have won clan battles or King of the Sea frequently. I'm kind of curious to know what sort of stuff did those people help you excel at? Maybe I should rephrase it. I feel like there's a lot of hard lessons that people learn on their own unless they have someone to sort of go, okay, now you need to do this and then this and then this. Were there any specific things that the people who helped you were able to help you sort of quickly overcome?
Mm.
Uh,
Go ahead.
you want to take this one, Hans?
You can go ahead.
I think really the main element was we got a lot of advice from people like Gaishu, Ace from '07, and just people like that. And I think the main, especially from Gaishu, the thing he helped us see the most was really the utilization of CV in clan battles.
Mm-hmm.
How to get the most value out of your CV, how to ensure that your spotting, your damage, and all of that is being valuable. And I think that piece of information was really kind of what helped us take the next step from a Typhoon clan to being able to get into Hurricane and being able to compete with Hurricane level clans in terms of just the coordination with our CV player. Because obviously, due to excellent game balance decisions, the CV is the most powerful ship on the field. And when you're able to maximize your CV usage, it's insane.
Yeah, I'm no CV apologist, late light, but I do sort of, when people talk about the CV as being the most powerful ship on the field, I agree. Although not always for the same reasons why people agree. I always think that the spotting mechanism and the ability to almost always ensure that you get a strike he's probably its most powerful thing. And I the other day I got a bunch of grief for comparing the CV to a quarterback if it were a game of football, where it's like, yeah, it sort of calls the shots, and it, and it can sort of put the ball wherever it wants to in a way. And if your quarterback sucks, you have absolutely no hope of winning the game, which is like, if your CV sucks, you have no hope of winning that clan battle game. So, it's, and then you got all these cruisers and battleships out there like linebackers just constantly smashing their heads against each other going, hate the quarterback. Anyway, that's just my stupid analogy, but
it's a pretty good one.
Yeah, thank you. So throughout this, I mean, this was an interesting season in the sense of, the Petropavlovsk obviously was the single most, I think, meta-defining ship that entered the game outside of the carrier itself. How did you guys, and especially in the first opening weeks, when you're still sort of getting a little bit more, your clan is getting more used to how things work in this meta. How did you guys sort of approach it, and how quickly did you figure out, oh, well, this doesn't work? And like, what things did you find out as well that sort of helped your success?
Well, I think in the first weeks we were running a very the first week when Sage was calling, we were running a very Russian heavy comp, like something like the Iron Curtain, where you had like 2 Kremlins. Like when we had a CB, we'd run that, but sometimes we just run double BB and like all Petros, Ongrads, things like that. And that for the first few weeks went really well. It would constantly be like theorycraft, like every day in our competitive chat after clan battles, have like a discussion of like 200 messages a night of like just theory crafting or like thinking about comms or certain scenarios or certain things that could work. And I think that's like one of the key things that got us to where we are, is that we were constantly thinking about how to improve, what we can change, what we can do better. On top of that, me and Sage and a lot of other people were also like, we were very much like looking outside, looking at what other people are doing, like looking for advice from other people. Like I would constantly be in contact with a group of friends from other servers and like get their advice on certain things like comps or strategies and things like that.
Mm-hmm. So you guys really utilized shared information well, it sounds like.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really, I feel like, the way to progress the quickest is you go, hey, okay, take a lesson from folks who have done this before and then figure out how to implement it the best way.
Right. It's not really efficient reinventing the wheel. So the same.
Well, certainly. So you guys ran double BB for a while, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Did you sort of find out? Did it take competent CV players absolutely executing you guys before you made the switch over to CV?
I think it's just double BB can't punch up, if that makes sense.
Yes.
If you're fighting a team that just mechanically outskills you, in a CV comp, you can outposition, you can tactically outplay, you can coordinate better, and you're fine. But trying to fight something that is someone like KSC or 007 with a double battleship comp is kind of a doomed proposition, because these are clans with years of experience in the competitive scene. They know how to fuck with double battleship comps and how to absolutely remove them. So it's kind of when we realized, okay, we're fine right now. We can take on Typhoon clans. We can take on any Storm or Gale clans with this easily.
Yeah.
But if we want to be competing at the next level, we're going to need to start looking at a different comp.
Right.
And I think we ran something with Henrys for a while. Double Henry, Yu Yang, and then some Petros. And that was fine until there started being more destroyers in the meta, and then it was not fine.
Yeah. It was... What a strange thing, right? I don't know if I've really talked about this on the podcast before, so if you don't mind, I want to take a tiny excursion to talk about what you just said, which was DDs actually started showing back up in the meta, even though there were carriers. And I was sort of trying to figure out, right at first, I was like, well, why in the hell is this? Why is it different? And I sort of thought about it, and it's like, well, because the two meta aircraft carriers that are new are the Manfred von Richthofen and the Franklin Delano Roosevelt, MVR and FDR. And they can't really deal with destroyers that well, especially like a Howland, for example, which, it's got some of the best AA in the game, and it dodges well, so it's just that it doesn't have any good tools for dealing with a Howland. And I went, wow, finally, the DD can kind of not make a reascendance, because obviously it's still limited to one or maybe two types of DDs. But it was really exciting to see Yu Yangs and Hallands, and sometimes Smallens even, that were in the meta. Did you guys try any other DDs, or did you pretty much stick to those two?
We ran. It really depended on. Sorry, I can't speak English. It really depended on our availability.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually super happy when destroyers started appearing back in the meta and started being viable again, because we have a ton of destroyer players in the clan, and obviously it benefits the clan if you're playing people in the ships they're comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
If you have someone with years of competitive experience in a Shimakaze, you don't want to put them in a Patra Pavlovsk, right? In general, we stuck to two destroyers. Obviously Holland and Yu Yang. I still think Yu Yang was the stronger and more versatile choice.
Really?
But obviously legendary mod, yes. Because of caps, to be honest. If you're fighting a comp of like Goliath or Petros, which are the two most common cruisers, they don't have a ton of radar power.
True.
And an FDR, we tested it. An FDR can hover a Holland for 2 minutes.
Yes.
With bombs.
I played Holland almost
So
the
you
whole
can't cap.
season, and I can confirm that. Yes.
Yes, but whereas Yu Yang could just kind of vibe in the smoke screen. And with everyone running defensive fire, both Holland and Yu Yang torps were lethal. There was a night of clan battles where I went back and counted 21 Holland torps in one night in my petrol.
Wow.
It was not a fun night.
Yeah, I mean, that's
for the reemergence of destroyers. I think it's more because of the change of the meta from the last Tier 10 season, which was heavy Venezia, and the benefit of Venezia was that you can have it smoke in the cap. You don't really need a destroyer.
That's true.
In the sense that you can just have a Venezia do the capping for you. But in this season with Cyclones, Venezia isn't as widely used to the extent that it was in the last season.
Yeah.
Not just because of and the destroyer reemergence, not just because of FDR and MVR being popular, because when you use even those in conjunction with your team, like just hovering and the focus fire, or just hovering over a cap, that can still be very impactful against the destroyer, 2-minute hovering over a Holland, as Sage mentioned. But I think the loss of that niche that the Venezia had because of Cyclones, I think that's mainly what brought DDs back into being popular, or in being widely used again, especially the Holland and Yu Yang, which we used pretty thoroughly this season.
Well, I mean, yeah, it really was nice to see it actually come back a little bit and to see something other than just, God, I hated that Venezia season. Just the games that were essentially trades at 20 kilometers just drove me bonkers. There's nothing fun about it to me.
I agree.
Yeah, I really feel like it was a combination of, the Cyclone, for one, it keeps the Venezia's range abuse down, but also the fact that suddenly you have the Petro. And the Petro can't really be citadeled by the rocket planes from the MVR very well. The Citadel's not easy to hit with MVR dive bombers. It can be. It's just not as easy because it's thinner. And also, the Petro doesn't eat sap the way that the Stalingrad did. The Stalingrad, I felt like, and the Venezia could effectively trade it with one another at range because, advanced pen angles, super, super fast ballistics, and strong hits from the Stali on the Venezia, and then just the constant spamminess of the Venezia on the Stalingrad. It was just sort of this, it felt like a bunch of haymakers just being thrown at each other constantly. This was a little more nuanced in the sense that, no one can fully obliterate each other with a well-placed shot, so it felt like a lot of chip damage, cruiser versus cruiser trading and whatnot. And at first I thought that was better. Then at the end, I wanted to tear my eyeballs out. Did you guys feel the same way?
I honestly found this season super fun. I think what made this season actually more fun. I mean, it's obviously more fun than the Venezia season. Because the Venezia season was, I don't even know what to say. It was terrible. They killed so many clans. It's about a nuke out. It was terrible. But I think this season was fun because it didn't come down to just trading because of destroyers being in the meta.
Yeah.
when you have comps that are like all cruisers and CVs like you did in Venezia comp, it's literally all trading because that's what cruisers do. Cruisers trade, right? They can't really cap
Right.
as effectively as a destroyer can. Whereas with this season, you could play a bit more of a positional game. And with the 14-kilometer cyclone, it also forced people away from staying 20 kilometers away. I will say though, cyclone probabilities were way too high. I think like in the last 5 nights of the season, we had 3 nights that were like all cyclone games. Which is either all cyclone or no cyclone, I think is better instead of making it a probability.
Huh. Interesting. That's interesting. It was hard for us to sort of, as we were making our strategies, go, well, does this strategy need to change with a cyclone or not? And overall, we sort of went, nah, it just changes where you position. You know, the positioning stays the same. It's just how close you are to the enemy that changes. Well, gentlemen, let's do this. Let's take a quick break so that I can put up my clearly non-satirical ads. And then when we come back, I'll have you two sink a ship. Now, sinking a ship is basically where you guys get to go into the game code. You get to select one ship each, not a class, not a line, just one ship. You get to tell it that it was very naughty this year and it's getting nothing but coal in its stocking, and that you're going to leave it out in the cold, cold night to freeze to death, and therefore remove it from the game. So I'm going to ask you two to think about that for a minute while we take a break, and we'll be right back on Get to Know World of Warships. On the 12th day of Warships, Wargaming gave to me 12 bombers bombing, 11 BBs running, 10 cruisers kiting, 9 DDs dodging, 8 Santa's crates, 7 New Year's camos, 6,000 doubloons, 5 Krasny Krims, 4 Reddit posts, 3 short lists, 2 censored words, and a Makarov for everyone. Yeah! Merry Christmas, everybody. Okay, so I'm here talking with GGWP in the form of Sageliev and Nightlock, aka Hans, and they are going to sink a ship for me. Let's start with you, Sage. Do it.
To be honest, Richtofen.
Richtofen? Why? What could possibly be wrong with it?
If you love Des Moines, you hate Richtofen. I think it's an equation. It's a fact.
I think if you love World of Warships, you hate Richtofen.
I think just the entire concept of a crossfire that flies around the map at 250 knots essentially breaks any form of balance in the game. In a game that's focused on angles and on positioning your ship to maximize your angles and minimize damage, any form of ship that can nullify that entirely has no place in the game.
Fair enough. How about you, Hans?
For me personally, I'd have to say Kirakami, because it's not only horrible to play, like you're getting citadeled, like you're literally at your 4 hull, you're getting citadeled by midway, you're getting citadeled by like literally destroyer guns, skewering guns. I farmed like 10 citadels off them when they were in testing.
Now I gotta just be clear real quick. You are not a super tester. You have not actually played the Kitakami yet, right?
No, I have not. I'm not a super tester.
Okay, just checking, because obviously anybody who's a community contributor or a super tester is not allowed to comment on their feelings or opinions on test ships. So to be clear, these opinions are the opinions of Nightlock, aka Hans of GGWP, and not affiliated with Boggzy, Boggzy Time, or Get to Know World of Warships. Thank you. Continue.
Yeah, but they're also like, I'd imagine they'd be really bad to play like against normal torps. You have like that sense of counterplay, like out predicting where you think that the enemy may have sent torps, whereas this is just like send 40 torps in one direction, probably like 1 or 2 or 3 will hit, and I don't know, that's really not something that I would enjoy playing or playing against, in my opinion.
So you want to preemptively sink a ship?
Yeah, preemptively sink a ship.
Based on just him seeing other people play it in game, playing against it. God bless you, sir. I wish you good luck both in your assassinations of these 2 ships. So, okay. So let's have a little chat here. So, basically, this is the first time that you guys have made Hurricane, and the purple tag, it really does mean something socially in the community because, there's a lot of speculation and a lot of, a lot of bluster and bravado and a lot of, sort of saber rattling that goes on amongst the community members. And I'm sort of wondering if you guys have felt any sort of change in the culture of how you deal with others or how others deal with you, or have you noticed any of your members maybe getting too big for their britches or something? Like, has it caused any change in your culture to have actually sort of reached that threshold and got those purple tags?
I think there's more, not necessarily arrogance per se, but a bit more confidence in terms of our abilities in comp. Obviously, Hurricane is pretty exclusive, so to get up there it kind of, I don't know how to validate, I guess, the effort everyone put into the season, and it's led to a lot more pride in being a member of GGWP, right? Like, but on the other hand, like, it's still the same people, right? You don't suddenly become a completely different clan because your tags are purple instead of green. And we're still focusing on that same attitude of improving. Of we started here, now we're here, but we have to keep going up. We're not going to let ourselves stagnate, and we're not going to let ourselves become too overconfident and just assume we're going to make Hurricane next season because we made it this season, right?
Yes, I can.
So
I can assure you, it is not a guaranteed thing.
yeah. So we're gonna focus on continuing to improve, and just next season our goal is actually play more games than Hurricane. See if we can push a bit away from like those 40 points that mean you only played the struggle.
Laddering, man. Laddering is the key
Yeah.
thing there. So you don't. That way, you've always got one tag in Hurricane, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laddering is kind of an interesting concept for us. We laddered for the way we played the season was kind of weird.
Wait, you guys didn't ladder?
Uh,
We did.
See,
Oh,
we
okay.
started the season at 22 people,
Mm-hmm.
and we ended it at 44.
Oh, wow.
So when you have that much new blood coming in, there are gonna be, what was the word optics used? Growing pains.
Yes.
Where you have those people obviously learning to play the game at a higher level. So when we recruited some people from like a Storm clan, and now all of a sudden you're fighting 007, QQ7, KSC, etc. Like, that's a whole different beast. The way you play clan battles is completely different. And I mean, obviously, they're not bad, right? Every new recruit that we like brought in is someone who I believe can eventually get to the level of playing at a Hurricane level, but they have to get to that level first. So we had a kind of rough spot, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, in which we took in the majority of the recruits, where we didn't really push up. We didn't go down, but it was just focusing on getting games in and kind of stabilizing the skill level amongst everyone, making sure everyone understood this is how we play clan battles.
Yeah. Brother, I hear you
'Cause,
there.
like,
We had the similar thing. I mean, I don't know if you guys how much you guys knew about it, but we lost a fair share of decent players that went to a different clan, and then we lost our clan leader Synpax. He left, so a few of us took over. We took over the clan, and then about 2 weeks into the clan battles this season, we ended up switching leadership again. So 3 of us took over. And we sort of we made it to Typhoon 1. Oddly enough, like, I think at one point we were actually number 1 NA for a little while, maybe week 2 or 3 or something like that, and then we just stopped. We stopped in Typhoon 1, and we just couldn't get any higher for the next 3-4 weeks, and it was immensely frustrating for us because people started burning out due to attrition and whatnot. And so yeah, I can completely agree with you guys when you say that, like, look, it's new folks come in and they got to get trained up, and that just sort of like resets the bar every single time, and it's very frustrating. So I'm really glad to see that you guys persevered and pushed through and actually saw that success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Hurricane looked kind of doomed, to be honest. So in the last 2 days of the season, on the Saturday, we made a push, and we got into the struggle, and we lost game 5.
Oh no!
Hurricane clan. And then after that, we kept playing on the higher rating because we had the whole, well, if we don't make it now, we're never gonna make it, right? So then I think we ended off the second last day of the season at Typhoon 130 points with our highest rating. So obviously, like, the mindset is, okay, we need to win 7 games in a row,
Right.
or we're not getting purple tags this season. But I don't know. People reset. We learned from our mistakes that night, and then we came back on the Sunday and we just won our first 7 games.
Yeah. 2 of them
I
were
think-
against us, right?
Yep, TNG first,
Yeah.
Sleeping Giant, and then I think TNG2 on Islands.
Yeah, I was on the TNG team that you guys beat,
Yeah.
and it was, it's honestly, it's thrilling to see somebody, excelling like that, because you guys played great. So
In regards to
You
laddering,
guys
I
had a
think
good
like
season too.
we did
laddering
yes.
is yeah, I think that's one of the key things for pushing up. Because like that's at the start you mentioned advice that we received from other clans. So that's one of the key things that we were told in regards to if we want to reach higher leagues, you want to ladder your ratings so that you can actually push higher. If you have like a bad night or a bad row, like I think we had like a week where we were stuck at a certain point, then that will allow you to not like completely decimate a rating. You'll still have a rating that you can fall back on. Like as you mentioned, the reset in players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's critical so that you don't accidentally erase your successes, with a string of losses on a bad night. Because boy, that can be really painful and extraordinarily discouraging too. So, well, gentlemen, I want to, before we go on and before we go to Poach Synpax. Sorry, I just burped on camera. Before we go to Poach Synpax and tell people why they should want to join your clan, I kind of want to know if you have any feelings. Number one, did you play the Verizon tournament format, and did you like it? And then also, have you have you guys weigh in on the Santa Crate controversy that is just all over the place right now? So first, if you don't mind, did you play in the 3-day Verizon tournament format, and did you like it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was fun. We kind of, most of our 18 players weren't available for like when the tournament was this weekend. So we decided to not put, plus obviously like just 2 weeks after this clan battle season, people were still kind of burned out. I'm still kind of burned out. You take a break from the game and kind of focus on exams, obviously. So we essentially said we're gonna farm free XP. That is our goal with this season, with this Verizon thing. So we laddered both of our ratings to just farm as much free XP as possible.
I see.
I think we still ended up 11th on NA, I think. So we still got a decent amount of doubloons. No, we finished 13th on NA. So we got a decent amount of doubloons. Format was fun. Tier 8 is a good tier. Literally is a broken chip.
Yeah, it was fun to see. It was fun to see the Dark Horse ships that came out of the night and was like, I have a use once again. So Le Terrible was definitely one of them. We had fun. We had fun with the mains. It was really nice to be able to just take a German farming cruiser out again and say there is no carrier that can come and punish me for being a greedy flame-throwing German cruiser. That was really delightful on our end. And what the hell else did I say? Oh, okay. So I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but apparently everyone is super upset about Santa Crates all the time. Have you guys noticed anything about this? Have you? Can I ask you to weigh in on it?
Well, from what I heard about this issue, and I may be wrong, but this has been a thing since 2016, and it's been known since 2016. So I'm not exactly sure why it's become such an outrage 4 years later.
Because Flamu made a video about it. That's why.
Oh god.
Yeah, and I think like the influencers, they really have a big impact, an overarching impact on the community and how they react to certain things and how they feel about certain issues as a whole. So they have a very big role in the community, very big community contributors and influencers of this nature, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, so it sounds like you guys are not quite as outraged as some other folks out there are.
I mean, I don't think it's
Personally, I'm not. Go ahead.
I don't think it's good that Wargaming's doing this, but it always surprises me when people are upset that Wargaming is trying to make money off of their game. To be honest, like they gotta eat too, you know. But I just don't think from a pragmatic point of view, I just don't think this makes sense as a form of monetization. It baffles me how they can think, all right, people are blowing tons of money on these crates to get rare ships.
Mhm.
Rare ships just cost us no money to make, right?
Right.
Like if someone gets a Missouri, Wargaming isn't losing any money, right? Like whereas let's say Walmart sells a T-shirt or something, like Walmart is losing the money that Walmart spent money on making that T-shirt.
Right.
Like Wargaming doesn't lose anything for giving someone a Missouri. Like obviously it's the scarcity. It's the scarcity.
There's
of the
one
Missouri.
thing I agree with you, and that's actually a really good point that I haven't actually heard many people mention yet throughout all of the hullabaloo around this. There's one thing that they lose when they give you a Missouri and a loot crate, and that is they lose the future chance of you buying more loot crates next year to get a Missouri. That's the thing they lose. That was Hans, right? Sage, do you want to weigh in on it?
That was Sage.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Okay.
I stopped looking at
okay.
at the indicators, and I was trying to just go by
Yeah.
your voices.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Personally, I've never really been like, I don't think I've ever spent a single dime on this game, so I'm personally not very much affected by this.
You are a free to
But
play.
I do think like as Sage mentioned, yes,
God
100%.
bless you, sir. That's incredible.
Uh,
Go on.
But yeah, as Sage said, it may not be the best practice in terms of monetization, but of course, like they have to. It is a free-to-play game after all. Like they have to bring it in somehow. But yeah, I don't think it wouldn't really personally affect me. How they what they did with loot crates in that regard.
Like, I think it's pretty dumb because if the entire branding that your loot crates are getting is you buy this loot crate if you want a Makarov, which isn't bad, but it's just at Nuremberg essentially.
Yeah.
That's not gonna get more people to buy loot crates. Wargaming benefits when people see other people buying loot crates and being happy with the product they buy, right?
Right.
It's the whole concept of like the customer experience, right? So I just don't understand whatever like higher up at Wargaming thought this was the way to do loot crates effectively. But on the other hand, it's like you're buying a loot crate to a game. Don't be surprised if you don't get what you want on the other hand, you know?
True.
Like,
Very
that's
true.
how loot crates work.
Yeah.
Like the house always wins.
The house always wins in the shooty pixel casino boat game. It's true. Well, gentlemen, I want to do this. A long-standing tradition on this podcast has been for the guest to poach Synpax. Our former clan leader and my former co-host Synpax, he was notorious for poaching people from other clans with the use of a poach bot that has since died an untimely death after he left. So what I'd like for you to do is assume that Synpax is here and that he's ready to come back to the game, and give him, and really anyone else listening, your best pitch for why GGWP is the right place for them. You don't have to address it to him or to anyone. Just give us all an idea of like what does GGWP have to offer? What would, you know, who's the kind of person that wants to join and why should they? Maybe Hans first. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
So I think
yeah.
So I think our main goal, as we outlined when we were founding the clan, was that we want to give people an entryway into competitive, and especially higher level competitive. Like you have all those wonderful people in 07, ZR, Mald, PWP, whatnot. Like they all started somewhere, and like we want to have people and
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say PWP?
Yeah, like generally all top clans in NA, like every.
Huh, I've never heard of PWP.
All
That's
competitive players. Yeah.
I've never heard of
But yeah,
keep going.
everyone like again, everyone starts somewhere. And we want to be that place where people start off. We have a more improvement focused attitude than most in regards to clan battles. Like after every session, after every game, we thoroughly go over what we need to change, what could have went differently, what could have went better. Even like during times of clan battles is not going on, like in between sessions, we always have that discussion. Like I'd wake up to like 500 messages in our competitive chat, like people discussing what happened. It's always very amusing to weigh in on or like just read after the fact that it happened.
Excellent. Well, you got me sold. Synpax isn't here, but I'm sure that he'd be on board too. So, well, gentlemen, that's yeah. Did you have something else?
I think really the thing that keeps us so successful, and really like for example in this clan battle season, while a lot of clans were struggling to like field teams in the last few days of the season, like we had, I think in the last 4 days we had over 20 people online for clan battles every day. And I think a large part of that comes from just the way we approach clan battles. A lot of other competitive clans, and this is hearsay, and I mean from my personal experience in another competitive clan, I used to be an RF1 beforehand. They were pretty good about it, and I learned a lot of my time there. But it's just the concept of if you lose, it's not the end of the world, right? If you lose a game, you're not looking for who you can blame, right? It doesn't matter if you're Petropavlovsk and flat rots it to an Ohio 4 kilometers away, right? Like, looking for someone to blame after a clan battle is simply going to lead to no one improving. So instead, we try to kind of figure out how we as an entire group can improve. Like, how can we improve our communication? How can we improve our synergy? How can we improve our own independent play while not just shaming people who fuck up? Because everyone makes mistakes, right?
Right.
Every single player in this game has made a mistake in a clan battle. I guarantee it to you.
Not me. I've never ever eaten a torp in a Holland right at the beginning of the match.
Boggzy.
I've never done that. Never.
Never
True.
happened. Yeah, I've never forgotten death flags, bro. Ever. I can promise
Seems
you
legit.
that. But I think it's just the approach of making sure that clan battles are still fun instead of making them a chore.
Right.
I think that's how you find
Like
success.
You can't just you can't just have people go to sleep overnight, become like superhuman when it comes at trading and mechanical skill. Like it's just not how it works. You need to improve collectively as a team. Like even if you're not the best mechanically, like you can still like outthinking your enemies, out positioning, thinking of better strats, better comps, better positioning, to make up for where you're weak, and also still continuously working on self improvement and the mechanical aspect as well.
Mm-hmm. That sounds fair to me, brother. Oftentimes the negative reinforcement in a video game where lots and lots of other options exist will lose you players, I feel like. Obviously a certain amount of seriousness has to be done if you want to be a competitive clan, but yeah, being a giant dickhole is not a great way to keep people in your clan. So, sounds good, gentlemen. Well, I want to wrap this up by saying thank you very much for being here. Congratulations once again on making Hurricane. We will include links to the GGWP Discord and any other links that they would like me to put down in the description below, so check those out. And yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it for me. Anything else, fellas?
Thank you very much for having us.
It was my pleasure.
It's been a good season for you guys as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was an interesting season, and we did not get our purple tags back this season, but we had a lot of restructuring and reformatting to do, and it presented a unique set of challenges. So we're looking forward to it next season. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So as always, thank you all for listening. We'll catch you next time on Get to Know World of Warships.